Do your books suffer from this issue? Stay tuned and I'll show you why it happens and what you can do about it. And I must thank Ben for bringing this issue to my attention. Okay, so you have a quality book collection of fairly thick hardback books and you keep them nicely stored in all the right conditions in a bookcase, having watched all my previous videos about how to be kind to your books. But there is one thing that may still affect them. It is this, a drooping page block. And it's annoying. Yes, gravity affects paper too. You may have seen this fault before, and it happens mostly with those good quality, physically heavy books. It's a common problem in Folio Society books, simply because of the good quality heavyweight paper they use. Basically, the weight of the pages combined, what we call the page or text block, literally drops over time. At best, you'll get a gap between the back of the page block and the book's spine head. You might also get a flattened spine. At worst, you'll get a concaved or dished spine. Whereas this is what it should look like. Note the convex edge at the spine and concave foredge. So it goes without saying to absolutely avoid storing your books like this, or the whole page block will fall and distort over time. But even when stored like this, you will get that sort of tipping effect. Correcting this permanently is not a simple job. It may help to understand that modern books have what is called a hollow spine. So the pages are not glued to the spine, whereas up until the early part of the 18th century, the opposite was the case, and the page block was fixed directly to the spine. The purpose of the hollow spine is to allow the pages to open more readily and to stay open. Otherwise, the spine tends to act as a sort of a spring, always wanting to snap the book closed. So like many things, there are advantages and disadvantages of one method over the other, depending on materials used for binding, i.e. leather versus cloth. So in the case of a hollow spine, the pages are not directly supported by the spine. I digress slightly, but understanding the mechanics of a thing often helps to see the solution more clearly. You could try simply turning the book upside down and see if that corrects itself, but I would not recommend this as a workable solution. In fact, it's doubtful that this problem can be fixed properly without an expensive book press, and even then it may once again go out of shape. The best thing is to stop it happening in the first place, and the solution I suggest will do that and also greatly help in correcting those existing faults. And no, I don't mean storing books horizontally, and you can see one of my other videos for my thoughts on that. What you can do is to make a support plinth for the page block. This can be cut out of cardboard. This is corrugated cardboard, which will take a certain amount of weight. But if you've got a really heavy book, you may be advised to use thin strips of plain cardboard because it's going to be under compression. So you may need to cut a few strips of thin cardboard from a cereal packet or something, or if you're really handy, cut it out of thin plywood. It needs to be cut the correct shape to just fit here. You could glue the layers of cardboard together, but it's not absolutely necessary. Either way, you'll need to make up the gap between the page block and the board edges. You may have to give the text block a bit of a tap just to help it back into place if it's hanging below the edge there. Just help it back into place with the heel of your hand. There and here. And then slip that piece of cardboard in between there. Like so. With that in place, it will support the pages and should correct the distortion. and of course look a lot better on your bookshelf. Again, this may not correct it permanently, but should solve the issue visually, take the strain off of the spine and stop it getting worse. In fact, some of the Folio Society's really large books come with a plinth already fitted inside the slipcase, either in cardboard or plastic, for just such a purpose. Well, I'm sure that would make a good conversation piece. Are your text blocks supported? Well, you'll know the answer. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe and keep those comments coming. Take care.